Hello and welcome to my latest video. This video we are featuring the dangerous former welterweight champion and Hall of Famer Harry Lewis, who, like many fighters in this particular era period, whatever you want to call it, had a very, very large career indeed. So let us go through the main career opponents of Harry Lewis. Now, Harry Lewis fought the old master Joe Gans on one occasion, fighting to a draw. He held wins over former welterweight champions, the first being Mike Twin Sullivan in a singular fight, and the second being Honey Melody, who of course fought Barbados Joe Walcott too. So two welterweight champions beaten there. He then twice fought and failed to beat the strong and hard-punching former middleweight champion Frank Claus, suffering a loss and a draw from their two fights together. Next up is Georges Carpentier. Carpentier defeated Harry Lewis. Harry Lewis did gain another win over a former welterweight champion, Dixie Kidd. He also lost a singular fight to the great defensive fighter Jack Blackburn, before also on this list losing 3 times from 3 fights against Leo Florian Hook, whose video will be upcoming over coming days. Now next up, here's Willie Lewis. Now Harry Lewis fought him on 5 occasions, scoring no wins with 3 losses, 2 draws. Shout out to Drunk Irishman in the chat. He also fought Jimmy Gardner, another very capable fighter, in a trilogy of fights. Harry Lewis scored 1 win and suffered 2 defeats. He defeated Griff Jones, also fought Jim Bonner on 2 occasions, scoring 1 win and 1 draw. He fought a draw to the capable Chester Goodwin before losing to Eddie Hanlon, and then on the final name on here, defeating capable contender who many of these fighters on this slide, virtually all of them, will be covered on videos themselves. So even with fighters, like Jimmy Gardner, Tim Callahan, Eddie Hanlon, they will all have videos coming. So Tim Callahan is defeated, and that finishes the first slide for Harry Lewis. Big shout out to Antonio Mosley in the chat. Good to see you. Yeah, I've also tonight got my top 10, my next top 10 video by country, and it's featuring Thailand. Okay, so the 10 greatest Thai fighters of all time. That will be coming this evening. Tomorrow, Sugar Ray Robinson, I'm doing his video a bit early, but I want his video out there because he's got full rating era and people can see his career video. So Sugar Ray Robinson will be done tomorrow. So anyway, let's crack on, with Harry Lewis, onto his second slide of opponents. He fought capable Tommy Love. Now, a lot of these names may not be as familiar to everyone, but many of them were very, very good fighters, or very tough contenders indeed. He defeated Tommy Love, he lost to Maurice Thompson, and he fought a draw to travelled Kid Herman. Next up is explosive puncher, brutish knockout puncher, Aurelio Herrera, the featherweight puncher. Harry Lewis fought him to a draw, and then he gained a win over the very capable Benny Younger. Next up is a name, Young Earn, whom Harry Lewis fought on 4 occasions, scoring 1 win with 3 losses. Young Earn has a gigantic career and fought so many names. His career is incredible. When his career video comes, you will see. He then fights Willie Fitzgerald, another, like Tim Callahan, like many of these tough contenders. He fought Willie Fitzgerald 5 times, scoring 1 win with 2 losses, 2 draws. He also fought and lost to Kid Goodman before fighting another contender, Unk Russell, on 7 occasions. Harry Lewis scoring 6 wins with no losses and 1 draw. Next up is Joe Thomas, whom Harry Lewis lost to, and then he fatally and tragically defeated Mike Ward in a singular fight. Next up is Tommy Sullivan. Harry Lewis fought 1 win and 1 draw from their 2-fight series, and then he defeated the capable Jack Goldswain before also beating Irish middleweight contender, very good fighter himself, Mike Donovan. The final name on this slide 2 for Harry Lewis, is Terry Martin, whom Lewis fought 5 times, scoring 3 wins, 2 losses and no draws. So on to our third and final slide. Harry Lewis defeats Frank Mantell. He also defeats middleweight Larry Temple in a singular fight, losing to Bill McKinnon and gaining a win over Young Joseph. Next up is Young Lowry. Another fighter who fought so many different fighters. Young Lowry, big career. Harry Lewis fought him to a draw. Now, Young Lowry is not a Hall of Famer, but one of the things I've said many times is some of these fighters are not Hall of Fame level fighters, but fighters like young Lowry, fighters like young Earn, fighters like Kid Herman, not the Pete Kid Herman, the original Kid Herman. You know, these fighters fight such a mix of talented fighters. They become great survivors. Many of them are very good defensively, are hard to get out of there. They're very experienced fighters, and I've always said too many people go on the Hall of Famers and champions, and even I highlight those. You know, like on these career videos, I highlight the Champions Hall of Famers, pound for pounders on independent slides. But I've always said you have to look at the whole career from start to finish. There's many tough fights in there that many people out there would give a fighter no credit for fighting and no credit for beating. And I think that's one of the big mistakes many boxing fans make when looking at fighters' careers. You know, you take Emmanuel Augustus, who Floyd Mayweather fought. He's not a Hall of Fame level fighter, but he's a very tricky, very hard fighter to beat if he's on a good day. You know, and that's what I mean. Those fights are not always easy, but very few fighters get any credit for fighting them or beating them. As Floyd, very rarely does it get mentioned. He'd be very awkward, Emmanuel Augustus. So next up is Dick Nelson. He's on the ballot to be voted in the Hall of Fame, the Dane. He's not been added as yet, but Harry Lewis defeated him. He then sold a win over Johnny Summers in a singular fight. And also, final name on here, lost a singular fight to Joe Burrell, the middleweight contender. So, there is 66 fights highlighted there. Harry Lewis has a very evenish looking record there, 28 wins, 26 losses and 12 draws. So when we go on to the first of his stat slides, Harry Lewis scored 47 knockouts, 27 knockouts in 3 rounds or less. He also scored 9 first round wins. Now Lewis scored 2 KOs against champions. He scored 1 KO against a Hall of Famer and 2 KOs against pound for pound fighters. And Harry Lewis scored 0 KOs against rated opponents, obviously. Pre-rating era fighter. Now in terms of rounds boxed, he fought over 1,000 career rounds professionally, a total of 1,173. Harry Lewis fought 83 title fight rounds, and he fought 60 rounds against champions, 90 rounds against Hall of Famers, and 197 rounds against pound for pound fighters. Now, against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters or ring champions, unlike Robinson tomorrow, he has zeros, being a pre-rating era fighter. So, on to champion slide. Now, Harry Lewis had 8 fights against champions. That included 3 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. The 3 individual champions he defeated were all welterweight champions in their career, one a bit more questionably. Mike Twin Sullivan, Honey Melody and Dixie Kid. He scored knockout or stoppage over 2 of those individual champions, Honey Melody and Dixie Kid. So when we go on to the Hall of Fame category, Harry Lewis had 9 fights against Hall of Famers, virtually half Pacquiao's total. Get them little winks in there. His record was 1 win, 6 loss and 2 draw. The one Hall of Famer he defeated individually was Dixie Kid, and he knocked out the one Hall of Famer he beat, as highlighted on the champion slide, being Dixie Kid. So on to the pound for pound category. He had his largest tally here, 19 fights in total. Harry Lewis scored 4 wins, 11 losses and 4 draws from those 19 fights. The 4 pound for pound fighters he defeated individually were the 3 champions he defeated, Mike Twin Sullivan, Honey Melody and Dixie Kid. He also defeated former pound for pound rated Jimmy Gardner. And like with the champion slide, he knocked out 2 of those former welterweight champions, so he stopped 2 of the 4 pound for pounders he's beaten, them being Honey Melody and Dixie Kid. So on to rated opponents. Now Robinson tomorrow will have full numbers here, like on the rest of the slides with the rounds against rated opponents, etc, etc. But sadly still many of these fighters won't. You know, the time will come when I've kind of left the 18, 19, 19, 30 year, and every video will have full information on there, especially for modern time, so people can accurately contrast these figures against fighters from older eras more accurately. But Harry Lewis fought no fights against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters or ring champions. He would have had dozens had ratings been around. Thus he beat no rated fighters individually and scored knockouts over 0 rated fighters. And when we go to the title slide, Harry Lewis had 7 title fights, scoring 5 wins, no losses and 2 draws. He made 6 title defences, and Harry Lewis scored 4 title fight KOs. So from those 5 title fight wins, only one of them went the distance. Obviously the 2 draws did. Not meaning to be obvious, but some people out there, not you guys in chat, you're quite clever, but some people out there are not that clever. Find some of the comments I've had said to me over years, crazy stuff like Roberto Duran is just a lightweight. I always remember saying, but no, Duran is not like a normal lightweight. You can't really compare Anthony Crolla to him, can you? You know, Anthony Crolla's a lightweight and he held a title. You know, Duran's a different kettle of fish. Yeah, crazy stuff. So anyway, Harry Lewis scored no wins against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters or ring champions in title fights. He scored 1 win against a champion in a title fight and 1 win against a Hall of Famer in a title fight. Harry Lewis scored 0 wins against pound for pounders in title fights. So, on we go, okay, to the titles. 1, Harry Lewis captured the world welterweight title. He was not considered the lineal champion, and I'm not going into the reasons why. Okay, and the title he held was the world welterweight title. So, there is Harry Lewis there, okay, so he's my latest fighter. He'll join my welterweight playlist, as will, in fact, no, I won't, I'm putting him in a middleweight. Sugar Ray Robinson coming tomorrow. But tonight, I also have the top 10 Thai fighters of all time from my new top 1,000 ratings, not the top 1,000 I've done, the new updated rating system I'm using, that rather than scoring on well over 100 factors I've set a number of targets. Okay, it's hard to explain, I'm not giving it away, but there's a number of targets that boxers can achieve. Okay, a whole number of them, and I've scored each fighter on their whether they've hit or surpassed or failed to hit those targets, if you get me. So the rating systems are very different in some ways. Some ways they're very similar, some ways the same. In some ways they are very different. But that's just the nature of the beast. So all of the top 10 videos by country are using the new rating system. So I've already done one, the top 10 American boxers. Tonight will be the top 10 boxers from Thailand. So there's Harry Lewis. Big shout out to guys in chat. I have to nip off now and do something. But yeah, everyone take care. And that other video will be coming later on this evening. I'm the Boxing Librarian. I'm out for now.